It doesn't matter what the courts say. He's already blatantly and openly ignoring their orders. And the courts have no way to enforce their orders. Whatever they say is unconstitutional doesn't matter. They can't enforce the ruling. Plus, if it gets all the way to the Supreme Court, those judges are already bought and paid for. Even if the judges do stop him, they're trying to pass a law in Congress that will eliminate the courts. What then? He was ordered to stop deporting people. It was ruled that all those probationary employees were illegally fired. Those were the overwhelming majority of the comments I received on my latest video about the court system is working to stop the Trump administration from issuing and conducting unconstitutional orders. So let's get into those one by one because a lot of you had the exact same concerns. So what if he ignores the court orders? Who's going to enforce their rulings? Well, he hasn't yet, and they haven't had a reason to enforce any rulings because no judge has found Trump or his administration in contempt. But in the event that that happens, that falls onto the U.S. Marshals' shoulders to do. To which some of you said the U.S. Marshals fall under the purview of the DOJ, which is in the executive branch under Trump's control. Yes and no. Per U.S. code, the U.S. Marshals take their orders directly from judges, not the Attorney General and not the Department of Justice. To the concern about the Supreme Court being in his pocket or bought and paid for, I don't know where you're getting that information because they have already ruled against him in this term. Many of you said he's blatantly ignoring their orders. He's not. The closest this administration has come to blatantly ignoring a court order was not turning the plane around that was ordered to return that had the migrants on its way to El Salvador. And that issue is currently being litigated in the courts. However, that order that involved the plane was part of a broader order telling the Trump administration that they could not deport anybody under the Alien Enemies Act. And the administration has not deported anybody else under the Alien Enemies Act. In fact, Trump is appealing to the Supreme Court to overturn that judge's decision and let him use the Alien Enemies Act. With regards to the legislation currently being proposed about limiting the power of the judiciary or defunding circuit or district courts, that's never going to pass. Speaker Johnson would need near unanimous consent from his Republican colleagues in the House, and that's not guaranteed. What is guaranteed is that they do not have a filibuster-proof majority in the Senate. That bill would be dead on arrival in the Senate. And lastly, a lot of you were concerned about the federal employees that were fired, and it was ruled that they were fired illegally and they had to be reinstated. They were reinstated. Majority of them were placed on administrative leave, but that comes with full pay and benefits. So again, take a breath. This is all designed to make you feel overwhelmed. And judging by my comments, it's working. So don't let him win. Don't let him control your mindset like that. The courts and the legal system is working.